monsters are loose.
Hey spooks, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and that's probably the last time I'm gonna call you spooks for another year, which is crazy. For those of you who are new, I like to call you guys spooks for the month of October or whenever I'm doing Halloween related videos, just because it's kind of like a little seasonal treat, and then we go back to calling you hey guys. It's not as unique, but it's kind of it kind of makes Halloween a little bit more special. Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to hop on here and say thank you guys so much for sticking with me throughout this Halloween season. I know it was way different than last year's just due to scheduling issues and a lot of personal things coming up and health issues and just so many things that I'm not going to go into too many details about just because I don't want them to come off as excuses. But if I were to talk about everything that made this year's Halloween situation so different, it'd be like an hour-long video. So we're just gonna kind of just talk about all of the positives. And so something that I really like to do is I like to kind of showcase all of the looks that I did, which is what you guys just saw. I really like to do that just because I like to see everything together, because for me, I often have a hard time really coming to terms with how much I've done within the span of a month. It's so much, and so to see it all together is really cool and see all of the different looks and styles of looks and all the different options that you can get throughout Halloween. And then of course there's past Halloween looks and all of that, but it's really cool to just kind of see every single one for the 2018 year, Halloween year. Even though this Halloween was a lot more difficult than last year's Halloween I was able to get almost everything pre-filmed before October even began, and that was the goal for this year, but once again, due to so many issues regarding mail and things not being delivered and not having all of the things needed and then having to last minute reship things, it was definitely, there's a lot more of a struggle just even trying to get ready this year, which I think is the primary reason everything ended up kind of getting set back. But with that, I learned so much this year that is going to make next year's Halloween even better, and even just YouTube tutorials even better, just because now I see how bad things can go essentially, and how difficult things can happen really fast, and how I'm gonna have to immediately try and figure out a better alternative in a short amount of time. And that's not something I ever had to deal with, and so it was a lot of it, but I'm learned so much from it, and honestly I'm so glad that this happened now, so that way I can continue to produce better content and not encounter a struggle this bad later on when there's more of you who are counting on me to be able to give you what I promise. So anyways, this is gonna be just a really quick video, but I thought it'd be fun to do a tiny recap on some of my favorite tutorials for the Halloween season. I thought it would be fun to do a favorite special effects tutorial, a favorite beauty Halloween tutorial, and then probably the tutorial that was the most challenging, and then maybe one that was the most fun to edit, because I think that's kind of a different situation also. You can have a certain tutorial, but then editing others can be so much fun. So yeah, we'll just do that. Okay, so favorite special effects tutorial, I would probably have to say hands down is Venom, just because I have never taken on a project that large before and had to really quickly figure out different ways to maneuver around it and solve the issues that I was encountering. And I still look at that prosthetic, because for larger prosthetics like that, I keep them and I kind of showcase them. I'm still just surprised that I was able to do that, because once again, I've never done anything like that before in that kind of style. I mean, in school I had to make prosthetics as well, but this was a completely different way to go about it, and I'm just still so happy with how it turned out. And so Venom is definitely probably one of my proudest projects that I will ever have, just because when I say he turned out better than I expected, there was a tiny part of me that was really worried that it wouldn't turn out quite as I was hoping, and I'm just so once again, I know I'm just repeating myself, but I'm just so happy with how he turned out. Next is my favorite beauty Halloween tutorial, and I'm not gonna lie, I just finished editing it tonight, but I would definitely have to say it is my pretty clown tutorial, just because I don't know what it is about it. I think it's something about the colors. I just absolutely love how it turned out, all of the lighting and the props, like it just made it so much fun. So I would definitely say that that is probably my favorite beauty Halloween tutorial for 2018. So next is the most difficult tutorial, and I'm thinking like difficult overall, and for that one I would probably have to say, like, each one had a few of their own unique struggles. I would say the most difficult, where I got stressed out the most and really started questioning if I should still do that project in particular, would probably have to be Venom, because that's the thing, is even though he had the most struggles, he was still my favorite special effects project, just because I had to get through all of those issues and persevere through them, and then I came out with an outcome that I was not expecting it to be as good as it was. So I think he was definitely the most difficult, mostly for sculpting, shape, prosthetic reasons. A really close second would definitely be the Scary Scarecrow, but not for the makeup and the sculpting. That was actually really easy. Even creating the costume was easy. I would say the difficult part behind that would literally be trying to figure out where I was going to film. I'm not kidding when I say I was calling dozens of people in my surrounding area asking if I could use their barn, because I would literally be like driving and I would see like this gorgeous, like decrepit, falling apart shack barn, and I would like see their address and we would like reverse Google search it so I could call and kind of be like, hi, can I borrow it for like a mini film I'm doing for my YouTube channel? And usually got sent a voicemail. We never heard back. But I would definitely say that was probably the hardest part of the Scary Scarecrow, only because I was trying so hard to find a location, and we ended up just using my backyard. And I ended up really liking that shot, so there we go. That one was also stressful just because I definitely had a lot of other people counting on me, like my friend Darren and my older brother Nick. They both had to clear out their schedule to be able to help me with that for the evening, and I was getting worried because I was still like doing last minute things to the prosthetic and applying it whenever they showed up, and so I'm just like trying to hurry just because I hate wasting other people's time. It's not fair to them, especially when they were helping me. So that was the other thing, is definitely like making sure to work around other people's schedules. And the last category would be which one was the most fun to edit, and for that one I would probably okay, this one is another tie, but it is a special effects one and a beauty one, and so I would definitely say for the special effects one it would be the Scary Scarecrow, just because I got to collab with Darren for part of the editing and really kind of get some cool inspiration from that, and so that was really fun. And then I would like take the rest home and like edit the rest, and I really love how that one turned out because that has such a story to it, which even though my Pennywise tutorial had a story, this one like literally had like a storyboard set up for how it would turn out, and I absolutely love it so much. So that one was so much fun to edit and just like listen to the music and piece things together and move them around. I absolutely love that. And then for the beauty one that was the most fun to edit would be Coraline, which I don't know why, because that was such a simple edit. It was because it was like the mix of the excitement, because it was the first tutorial going up on my channel for Halloween this year, and I don't know, I just absolutely loved how I had the little snippet from the movie in the very beginning, and then it immediately slid into the music that I found, and I was literally like headphones on, like listening so closely to try and like bridge them perfectly so that they would just like sound fluid and everything, because like they weren't connected. I love how Coraline turned out, and I don't know why. This is where YouTube is so interesting, is Coraline, I say blew up, and I mean that in respect to the rest of my videos, like typically how many views my videos will get on average individually, especially like during Halloween, and Coraline got so much more than the average Halloween video does. And it's really interesting because it all comes down to like what people are searching for and like what people want to be for Halloween that year. And so that was a really pleasant surprise, because I was not expecting that, because I don't know, like I like Coraline, I just didn't know that many people liked it as well, if that makes sense. Also, Maleficent was fun to edit too, mostly just for all of the Kingdom Hearts references and like inserting all of those and the explosions, like as simple as that is, that brings me a lot of joy when I edit that stuff in, just because I'm usually like laughing while I'm doing it, which is really nice that I can kind of just entertain myself while I'm working, which is really fun. Also, let me know what your favorite video was. I absolutely love hearing your feedback on this, because not only does it help me plan for future years of Halloween makeup, but it's really interesting because everyone always has like different interests. Like some people like the body paints more, some people like the special effects prosthetics, or some people like the simple beauty makeup, and I just like hearing your feedback because it's really interesting and it's really helpful. Also, it was so weird because it all went by so fast, but also that was because I was pulling so many all-nighters, like everything just kind of blurred together. So I'm not gonna lie, I don't have a lot of memory of specific moments throughout the month of October while filming, which is kind of a bummer, which is once again why I'm gonna make sure this doesn't happen next year, because I didn't get to enjoy it as much as I should have. Like it literally just felt like a blur because everything was just go, 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 go. Like I'm not there was literally a week, and I track my hours. I think I mentioned that like in a few videos before. Like I have a notebook where I track my hours, just so I can kind of keep myself accountable and see how much time I'm spending towards YouTube as opposed to like other things, and it really does help. And I noticed that every single week in the month of October had over 60 hours towards YouTube, and just YouTube, like that's filming, editing, the whole shebang. And the week that had the most hours was like, I think it was like the second week of October. It had over 88 hours of YouTube, and I'm just like, that is so much time to be spending on this stuff. But I've said this before and I will say 100 times, I would not want to do this with anything else. Like I couldn't see myself spending that time towards anything else or devoting that much passion towards it, which I don't mean that like to sound bad in any sort of way. It just means that I'm so happy doing what I'm doing that it really doesn't bother me that much that all of this was happening, just because it was going towards what I love, and so it just made it worth it in the end. For those of you who are new and might be worried if I will continue to do special effects makeup even though it's not Halloween, yes I do. I like to do special effects, creative beauty makeup all throughout the year because I like doing that. I'm the kind of person, I can't do beauty makeup just every day. I have to like spice it up every once in a while with other things, and there are so many things that just inspire me that I start creating like pictures in my head, and then I look at like other makeup artists and like what they're doing, and I take inspirations from each of them, just because there's so much going on and so much that you can create that yes, I'm going to have so many more tutorials like my Halloween ones throughout the year. It's just anything that is more Halloween movie, creepy movie, or something like that intensive, that is probably where it would be more in the Halloween category. My Halloween category is kind of like random, but in my head it makes sense. I don't really know how to describe it. It's like movies and things that would fit really well during Halloween, but maybe not necessarily like the rest of the year. Also, in the month of December, I do 12 days of SFXmas on my channel, which is for the first 12 days of the month of December. I upload a new Christmas themed makeup tutorial, which is really fun because then I kind of get a lot of the makeup tutorials out of the way in the beginning of the month, and then we have like a few sporadically at the end of the month, like some New Year's Eve makeup tutorials, and you know, just so it kind of starts to spread out and dissipate a little bit at the end of the month, so everyone can kind of spend a little bit more time with their families and enjoy, you know, all of that good food and relaxation and just kind of like take a tiny break. Anyways, before I close out this video, I want to say a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart to every single person who has watched any of my videos, commented on my videos, liked a picture, subscribed to my channel. I am so surprised by how many of you have joined me throughout the end of the month of October. It's really weird and kind of intimidating to think of because it happens so fast, and I did know that like no matter what, statistically I do grow during the month of October, but I wasn't expecting to grow this much, and I just really hope that I can continue to produce content for you guys that you enjoy and that you will get to stick around. And even if you don't, thank you so much for sticking around while you did. I really enjoy having you here, and it makes me happy that you guys would take even a few minutes out of your day to see what I've created and released into the world. And like, as cheesy as it sounds, like it really is like mind-boggling, and it really means a lot to me that so many strangers, and you guys are so kind. Like, I got so many comments throughout the month of October, and every single one was just kind and supportive. And what I love is you guys offer constructive criticism, which I appreciate. I don't want to be in a spot where I can't grow. I love how you guys offer your opinions, or if I'm struggling with something, you can say, oh, maybe try doing it like this. I love that because that is helpful, and I really appreciate that. So thank you guys so much for subscribing and following me and just literally sticking by me while I get to honestly pursue my dream, and it really means a lot to me. So anyways, with all that being said, thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
I'm coming closer.